Well, hey there, guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, it's Bad Drivers in the City, Episode 2. Well, a while back on the show, I posed the question about our first show of Bad Drivers in the City and asked if this was something that you guys would be interested in. And I got many comments saying, yeah, we'd like to see some more of that stuff. So that's what we're going to do today. Guys, in my work vehicle that I run every day, I run a 4K camera in that thing, mostly to cover my own butt. Should somebody do something foolish and try to say it's my fault, I have camera footage to say, no, it isn't my fault. So we're looking into that today. Guys, I'm not going to post crazy things like accidents and that sort of thing. There have been a few of those on the footage. That's not what we need to see. It's more of people that are taking unnecessary risks and unnecessary chances. The kind of guy that you see doing the sort of things that you'll see on this video, and you just got to shake your head and say, how did this guy get a driver's license? So without further ado, let's get in to Bad Drivers in the City, Episode 2. Well, this first clip shows how you have to be on your toes when you're behind the wheel. I have the green here. It's quite obvious. And this guy right here, I can just see that he has no intentions of stopping. And sure enough, flies right through the red. If I wasn't watching, I'm pretty sure he would have hit me. Well, it's January. The roads are wet. They're slick. Possibility of freezing. And I noticed this Range Rover is just tailgating this fella in front of him. And that's not bad enough, because this guy comes along. Quick, aggressive lane changes. It doesn't even look like he has his full lighting system on, and he's just bobbing and weaving, even though up ahead we can obviously see the traffic is going nowhere. I don't know. I just don't get it sometimes. So the setup for this one is a straight through and right turn lane here. Here we have a designated bicycle lane, and then of course a no traveling section with hashed off area along this side. I guess if you want to make a right turn, there's no need to wait for the people in front of you, because heck, maybe you can just pretend you're a bicycle and make the right from the bike lane. Well, when this guy in the white car initially cut in front of me, I thought he was going to be a problem. I'm just going to let him go ahead, and the further he is away from me, the better. But that was until this guy comes along, and this guy can't seem to figure out where his lane is. He's already swerved once towards me, and there's the second swerve, and he's off and gone. Guys, at that point, ease up on the gas, let him go, let him be a problem far away from you. Need to get off at your exit? It's okay. You can zip across 3 lanes in a no travel zone, take your chances with the concrete bulkhead, and get your exit, as long as, well, you didn't waste a few minutes having to reroute. Turn signals are generally an early warning system to let other drivers know what you're doing. This is not early warning. This is someone not paying attention. It's okay. He drives a Mercedes. Everybody knows that gaining 1 car length is worth risking an accident. It's just common sense. Sometimes the next rest stop is just too long to wait. When you almost miss your stop or your cutoff, the best thing to do is to cut across 3 lanes and play chicken with an immovable concrete barrier. Once again, common sense. You might be working close to the airport when this kind of scenario crosses the path of your dash cam. Yeah, that's close to the airport. When egos get in the way and nobody wants to give, it's never a good scenario. These 2 guys here I watched them for about 2 kilometers, nearly caused several accidents. It's just ridiculous. If you don't trust the drivers on the road, you can take public transit where the professional drivers will keep you safe. Apparently, in my city, this also consists of running red lights and risking the lives of those on public transit. Okay, I'm starting to think that I'm doing it wrong because this is the third clip of this video where a vehicle has shot across 3 lanes and then to their ramp because they cut it too close or nearly missed their stop. Maybe it's just me. One of my biggest pet peeves is the guys on 2 wheels who think that the shoulder is for them. It's not for them. Apparently, it's also for morons who think that their mission is more important than everybody else's. You already know it's my pet peeve. I'm not going to say anything else. What is it about the operators of some 2-wheeled vehicles that makes them brain dead? We can obviously see here that she is having extreme difficulty seeing what's coming because of the sun in her eyes, but then she decides to cross anyway where there is no crossing. Do people on 2 wheels just feel the need to risk their life? Is that what happens here? Kind of like this guy. Like, what is the point? I don't think I will ever understand it. This one here is just shocking. I'm just going to stop it right here. How fast was this barrel traveling to do that kind of damage to the guardrail? Ridiculous. Well, I say that some guys on 2 wheels make you brain dead, but there's 1, 2. So that's 4 wheels, right? I guess that makes it okay. Well, the light goes amber right about here. And we have 2 vehicles that are well behind the stop bar, one that might be questionable. So for an extra bonus point, how many of these vehicles are going to run the red light? If you guessed all of them, you're smarter than the guys on 2 wheels. This one here, I'm almost tempted to send it in to the company that owns this dump truck. Look at how close he cuts this. Just blatantly dangerous. This guy's a menace. Well, if it's not bad enough that one guy here runs the red light, it's this guy. He was behind me. I was able to stop. Well, the sign here clearly says no right turns on red. Oops. This guy just realizes, hang on a second, the light's red. I can't go. So I'll put it in reverse because now I'm stopped in a live lane and I'm blocking people off. So here's the thing. They put it in reverse, but they never actually move their vehicle out of the way. Also, the reverse lights never shut off, so I stay back a little bit. And you can guarantee what's going to happen next. I'm sure you see this coming. As soon as the light turns green, what direction does that vehicle travel? Yep. In reverse. A quick brake job, put it back in gear, and go forward. How many times can I say brain dead in one video? I lost count. Apparently, when I'm driving the speed limit, that's not good enough for some people and they feel the need to pass. Okay. Well, if the guy on 2 wheels or the guy in front of him blows a tire, somebody is going to be in a lot of hurt. And then, of course, splitting the lane, weaving in front of the cars. I honestly don't get the attraction here. You know, I know I sound like I don't like the guys on 2 wheels, but it's just a few like this that give the good riders a bad name. I've seen some really good riders, and none of them would ever pass on a paved shoulder in a merge lane. I guess this guy thinks it's okay. Construction zone, 1 lane each way. I pay taxes in both lanes and I only want to go one way. Get in your own lane, buddy. And voted the most likely to be an organ donor within the next 6 months is this guy. So after finishing your job and going to pull away from the curb, you just want to check your blind spot because every once in a while somebody loses their patience. And it's a good thing those pedestrians weren't a little further forward. Well, I thought this guy in the white car was kind of cutting it a little close and not giving himself room to merge, considering there was plenty of room behind me and in front of me that he could have pulled in. But somebody said, hold my beer and watch this, and not to be outdone, we got this guy. Just brilliant. And I can't help but wonder if he's merging to the left from the shoulder, mind you, why is his right signal on? What am I missing here? So is this the same guy in the dark pickup truck as before, where he just figures, I pay taxes in both lanes? This is one-way westbound here, and he's coming eastbound, so he had to have come from somewhere. Okay, so pop quiz. What color is this light? And if you said red, what is this guy doing? Okay, I know I've been bashing the two wheels, but look at this guy. This guy is doing it right. Finally, it's nice to see someone on two wheels riding responsibly, being safe, staying in his lane. He's in the right position to be visible by the rear view and the side view mirrors of the vehicle ahead of him. He is doing it right. So obviously not all. Oh, never mind. Never mind. And there you have it. Bad Drivers in the City, Episode 2. Guys, I will never understand why people take such drastic risks, why they are in such a hurry to drive so erratically and so aggressively, taking chances with both their own health and other people's health just because they're in a rush. If you're in a rush, leave half an hour earlier. It's as simple as that. Because those crazy kind of styles of driving, you know what? It's never going to end well. It's eventually going to end in tragedy. That's usually the way it works. It may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen a year or 2 years from now, but it will eventually happen. People have to realize, and I don't want to preach because I mean, I had my days behind the wheel where I was like a crazy kind of driver. And I guess I grew out of that at some point in time. But I don't want to preach, but what you realize is you are driving a 2-ton killing machine. That's what you're driving. You are driving 2 tons of metal that doesn't care about the person it's going to hit or doesn't care about the accident that it's going to cause. It doesn't care about increasing insurance costs or the inconvenience to the other drivers who were driving properly that now have to wait while they clean up your mess. That vehicle doesn't care about that. So that puts the onus of caring on the person in control, and that's the driver. And I'm telling you, if you are one of these guys that pulls some of these stunts here today, especially the motorcycles splitting the lanes, I know that that's legal in some places, but it's still a very, very dangerous procedure, or a dangerous thing to do, because all it takes is for that motorcycle to split a lane and for the driver just ahead of them to be just as aggressive and just as much in a hurry and change the lanes quickly without checking. And you got a real big mess on your hand, guys. So bottom line is, take your time, relax, get there safely. Do not drive erratically like this, because doing this on a regular basis is a very good way to eventually become the next organ donor. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is not a show about preaching about driving. It's not a show about belittling people for their driving skills or their lack thereof. It's more about awareness. And it's more about being careful for what's out there and watching for the signs of people pulling these things. Watch for guys, in your rear view that are bobbing and weaving, because they're going to weave in front of you. So just be prepared for it. Watch for the motorcycles, guys. Just because they're driving in a way that shouldn't be done, in my opinion, doesn't mean that you want to be the victim here, where you are the one that caused the accident because you pulled out without checking. So watch out for these guys. Be careful on the roads. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We have an amazing audience base, and I'm hoping that you're going to consider becoming a part of it. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I hope you found it a little entertaining. I hope you didn't give yourself a headache from shaking your head so much at the craziness and the risks that people take. Be safe on the roads so that once again, you can join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesday.